Hey everybody, this is John from the training room. I just want to do a quick tutorial, a quick step-by-step walkthrough of our online training program procedures, more or less step-by-step. You know, I received a lot of interest and people are doing really well with it. Some people are either they're associating it with other online training programs out there, or really they have no experience with doing anything online. They're really just not sure what it entails. What we've been doing for a while here is a little bit different. It's a little more personal. I shouldn't say a little. It's a lot more personalized. It's a lot more individualized for the person. And I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough, step-by-step, on how we do it. Step one, as you can see here, and I have to apologize in advance, I'm doing this live from my home in the middle of the day. So my dogs are here. So somebody, you know, I'm having a glass of water next to me. So if you hear me taking a sip in the background, if you hear my dogs barking at the mailman, I apologize in advance. Okay, so real quick is, you know, you just go to trainingroom.com, go to online personal training. Here's some 411 for you. You know, just a basic, you know, quick overview. I just need you to fill out the form at the bottom. I just need some basic information that will tell me enough to for both of us to get started. Once I receive that, the most important part is then we go to an online assessment. And I am looking for it. There we go. Okay, so what this is basically what differentiates what we do from what everybody else does. Everybody else either gives you a cookie cutter program that's already pre-made, or one where you just follow along with somebody who has no qualifications other than they look good in yoga pants. So, you know, you're doing what they do, most work. That makes no sense whatsoever. And even something like Beachbody that says, you know, personalized workouts. It's not personalized. They just give you different combinations depending on a few different variables, none of which has anything to do with you, really. What we need to do online is replicate what we would do in person if you came down to the TR. Which is to say, I would run you through an assessment. I would walk you through some quick squats, lunges, push-ups, rows, stuff like that, just to kind of get a better idea of how you move. Complicated version is to establish your postural distortion patterns. That sounds fancy. All it really means is we all have strengths and weaknesses. I want to see what your strengths are so I know what we can really pound away at in the program. And I want to see what your movement limitations are, things that we can address and make better, or things that frankly might be dangerous when combined with certain exercises, so I know what certain exercises to leave out of your program. Okay, so in person it's relatively easy. Well, it's easy online too. So what we do is I send you, after receiving your information, I send you the TR online movement assessment. Now basically what I need is just a short video of you doing a couple of moves, and these are all the instructions that we, you know, going on here. What I need you to do, here we go, is get to, you know, set up your camera, you know, wherever you're going to work out, whether it's in your home, in your gym, wherever. And I just need a few static poses of you standing. I need a few movements, squats, lunges, push-ups. Now, these are still photos, but I need a video. So, you know, you could set the video rolling and, you know, show me, you know, just your posture from the front, from the side, from the rear. Then what I need is a few prisoner squats, front, rear, both sides, a couple of push-ups just from the side, a couple of lunges on both legs, front, rear view, both side views. The whole video, you know, somebody has said to me that seems like it's kind of complicated and kind of a pain. Honestly, it's a lot more simple than driving down to the TR and doing it in person. It takes a lot less time. I think when I did this, and I'll show you in a second, I'll give you an example in a second, it only took me about just over a minute. So those are the instructions of what you need to do. Now, oops, I'm sorry, I screwed this up. Okay, so now I'll give you an example. I'll click on the link to the video where you can actually see me doing the assessment. So there's me doing the static poses. There's me doing squats, and I won't bore you with the whole thing, but as you can see, I'll even fast forward up. There's my dog. You can see my dog making an appearance in the background. You know, the whole thing is 1 minute and 11 seconds. It's just me doing squats, lunges, and push-ups. It's as easy and simple as it gets. Frankly, it's easier than coming to the TR. Okay, so then once I've received your information, then what we do is we set up a phone call. On the phone call, I'll tell you, well, first of all, I'll get some more information out of you in terms of your history, what you've been doing, more specifics about your goals. I'll tell you what I noticed in your assessment video, and I can be pretty specific about what exercises are going to be in your programs and what exercises are not going to be in your programs. Depending on what equipment you have, what equipment you're going to use, we could pretty much just formulate a blueprint on that call of what you need to do ongoing. At the end of that call, now the assessment, there's no cost and no obligation for the assessment. There's no cost and there's no obligation for the phone call. I can just tell you what's going on. If at the end of that call you and I decide this is going to work, you think, yeah, this is definitely going to work for me, this is definitely better than the knucklehead trainers down at my gym, and I definitely see I'm going to get a commitment from you, and I'm confident that you're going to hold up your end of the bargain. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to back up a second. Looking at the assessment just reminded me. What you do with that video, once you've done the assessment video, is you post it on YouTube and set it as unlisted. Now, back to the people have said, oh, this seems a little complicated. No, YouTube, if you used YouTube, it's easy. If you haven't, all you need is an email address just to log on. And when you post your video, when you upload your video from your phone, if you choose unlisted, nobody in the world will see it unless you send that link to somebody. So it's not like what happens most of the time is somebody uploads a video and then, the entire world and the entire internet can see it. If you choose unlisted, nobody sees it that you don't want to see it. Nobody will see it unless you send them the link to the video. So when you take your assessment video, upload it to YouTube, list it as unlisted, send me the link, and I will be the only person that sees it. So then, again, let's assume, we've gone through the call. We assume this is going to work for both of us. Then what I do while I'm working on your program is I send you just general instructions. Now, needless to say, if you've trained with me or at the TR in the past, you have a pretty good sense of how we train and a little bit about our philosophies. It's either new to sometimes it's new to a lot of people, sometimes people haven't seen me in a while and it's a little bit of a refresher. So here's just some general instructions about the program that you're going to get. It explicitly lays out how to read the program, how to implement the program, what to do if some issue comes up, depending on if you're working out in the gym or if you're working out at home, you might run into some obstacles. What to do, some tips on how to get the most success out of the program, an explanation of the workouts themselves, why they're divided into the sections that they're divided into, like why, the warm-up section, the core and stability section, the strength section, conditioning section, mobility, all the way down. Some other things you might get into, like some of the side comments I might make in the program about tempo or about, some of the coaching cues I use as if I were right in front of you. And then how to establish a check-in. And I'll talk a little bit more about the check-in, but that's really the real value of what you're getting out of this program is the check-ins with me. That I'll ask you a few questions about some information, some feedback I need back from you. You need to tell me what went well, what was a challenge, what felt good, what didn't, obstacles you had difficulty overcoming. That is how we tweak the program as we go along. That's how you get better as we go along. But I'll touch more. I'll get into more detail on that in a second. Then what you do, you need to give me a couple days because, like I said, I'm writing this program from scratch for you. It's not something I just have I've already written the workouts and I just send you something. This is one of my clients' workouts. And as you can see, I erased the name at the top just in case you didn't want me sharing a workout. Like I said, sorry, I need to take a sip of water there. Program, you see 1.1. Basically 1.0 is the beginning. It's the general program. I've checked in with her a couple of times, so it's been tweaked. So I call it 1.1, and then as it goes on, we'll go to 1.2, 1.3. When we get to a point where the program just needs to be completely rewritten, we'll start at 2.0. Generally speaking, a couple things. Generally speaking, initially, it takes a few times through this program for you to get good at this program. And we'll just make tweaks as we go along. Maybe take one exercise out, put another exercise in, maybe change the weight, maybe change the number of reps, maybe change the order of the workouts or of the exercises, basically just tweaking. Then when we feel we've gotten to a point where you've improved at this and you're not going to improve any further than you already have, then we'll just completely rewrite the program. So quickly, as you can see, just, this is this person's workout. The activate a warm-up section. It should take about 5 minutes. You're doing foam rolling, you're doing prisoner squats, you're doing push-ups. I tell you how long, how many reps, how many rounds, everything you need to know. Now, kind of very similar to in-person. When I see somebody in person, there's a lot of instruction going on initially. The first few workouts, there's a lot of me teaching how to do it correctly, showing the ways to do it. You know, people do it incorrectly. You practicing to make sure you get the movement down correctly. Now, because we're not standing in front of each other when we do this, I have video links here. So if you see in the warm-up section, this foam roll, there's prisoner squats, there are push-ups. If you click on any of these links, it will use foam rolling, for example, and I already did it to save time, just so we wouldn't have to wait for the browser to load. If you click on foam rolling, for example, you could just go to foam rolling. Now, here's the video of me explaining foam rolling. Now, as you can see, it's 5 minutes long. So it's not just me foam rolling and say, do this. I'm explaining how you're doing it, why you're doing it, which body parts you need to do, the right way, the wrong way. And kind of like I said, when you see somebody when we do it in person, the workouts initially take a little bit longer because there's a little more teaching, there's a little more practice, there's a little more instruction, there's a little more correction. So I certainly encourage you to really take the time, sit down, watch each one of these videos, make sure you get all the information. And again, like this is just me showing all the different ways to do it, all the different body parts you can do. Make sure you get all the information. But also similar to in person, once you understand how to do this, you don't have to sit through all these videos. You don't have to listen to me drone on about stuff that you're not going to be doing anyway, or stuff that you've done before. On the program there might be I'm pretty sure. Let me just go back to this program. So like there's the core stability section, there's the strength section. Yeah, so like there's a one arm, half kneeling cable row. So you can watch the video to show the how to and what not to do and all that kind of stuff. But if 2 weeks from now, if I show you how to do just a standing row, you really, if you want to take the time to watch the video, you can, but really you know how to row at that point. So just stand. So initially it's going to take some time, some practice to go through all the stuff to make sure you have it down. But eventually you can kind of pick and choose your questions here, what you think you need to be addressed. But as I said, the video links come with all the exercises just in case. Okay, so that was workout A. Here's workout B. Your first program is going to be 2 workouts that you can either alternate, or you and I can come up with some other pattern depending on the situation. Sometimes it's better to do A a bunch of times first, then B a bunch of times. Sometimes it's better to alternate depending on your schedule. But another warm-up section, core stability section with different exercises. So for the core section, we have a squat and chop, we have a stability ball bridge, we have slider reaches. Oh, squat and chop. I've done a stability ball bridge. I know what that is. I don't know what a squat and chop is. Okay, so you click on that link and you go to the squat and chop. And here's me just showing you how to squat and chop. That's the wrong way. I hope you know that. The right and wrong way to squat and chop, explaining to you what you need to watch for, what you don't need to worry about. And again, all these are also unlisted. So, you can go to my YouTube channel where you see the videos that I post for everybody. All these I did a little bit differently, specifically for you, specifically for this reason, that I took the time to explain why you're doing it this way, what the right way is, what the wrong way is. So eventually, like I said, initially I think you should go through all these videos to, learn the patterns, the form, what's right and what's wrong. Eventually you may or may not need to do that, but they're there anyway if you need to backtrack and double check a few things. So here's the strength section for B, which is perfect push-up, split stance squat, dumbbell row. Conditioning is battling ropes, alternating mountain climbers, and mobility drill, which is a standing static ankle stretch. Now, as I mentioned before about the check-ins, I like an official check-in once a week. I find Fridays are best. This way we can kind of keep in touch over the weekend. I'll send you any questions that I think I need the information from you. There are some things I might need to see another quick video of you doing. Some things I'm curious to see if you found easy or hard. You tell me, what went well, what didn't go well, exercises you struggled with, ones that were easy, other challenges like scheduling or logistics that you came up with. And then we just have a quick back and forth about what corrections to make ongoing, tweaks to make ongoing. We'll set up your schedule for next week for the workouts. I'll tweak your program if necessary. Usually, again, like I said, usually it's just a tweak at that point, and then we repeat the process next week. Now, I expect a weekly formal check-in like that. And like I said, I think Fridays work best, but I'm flexible if there's another day that works for you. Not a big deal. But if there's something that comes up during the week that you have a question about, I'm here. Just send me an email about this particular exercise. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Sure, shoot me an email. John, I didn't really understand this section, the strength section of exercise A. Could you go over that? Sure. Send me an email. It's not that, you can touch base anytime. I think a formal check-in once a week is good, but if you have a quick question on any day, after any workout, before any workout, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the long and short of it. And as I said, as you're doing well and as you're getting better, we'll tweak the program. When you get to a point where I think you've improved a lot, but what if you go further? We need to rewrite the program. We'll blow this up and we'll start with your program 2.0. Okay, I hope that answered a lot of questions. If you have any more, you can reach me at thetrainingrim@gmail.com. I'm easy to find, okay? And obviously at trainingrim.com. Okay, thanks again. Hope to hear from you. Bye.